Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, and welcome to episode 120 of the Film Blurs. I am Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. Uncle Jeffrey, a.k.a. a whole bunch of other shit. And I'm joined here, as always, with my friend and co-host.
Hey, it's Brandon Norwood. And Jeff, what have you watched lately?
All right, what have I watched lately? So I was meaning to talk about this one last week, but I totally forgot. So I'm trying to catch up on my exploitation films, and I stumbled upon the Walter Hill classic, Southern Comfort. All right, so the idea behind Southern Comfort, a whole bunch of Army reservists are in the Louisiana swamps doing an exercise. They get separated from their they get lost in the swamps. They stumble upon a fucking encampment with some fur trappers. They fuck around and they find out. And the rest of the movie is the fur trappers systematically hunting down this platoon of weekend warriors. And if you've ever seen a Walter Hill film, right, you know what you're getting into. You know, Walter Hill, most famously, The Warriors. And this is, for what it is I can't say it's a good movie, but it's an entertaining movie, right? Because I'm a big fan of hillbilly exploitation. But I'm also a big fan of survive the night type movies, like fucking Judgment Night and shit like that. So if you get a chance, I mean, it's real racist too, which, you know, unapologetically, because, you know, it's set in fucking Louisiana in the 80s. So yeah, if you have a chance to watch Southern Comfort, it's a nice way to kind of fill in your Walter Hill discography or filmography. Moving on from that, staying on trash movies from a latter year, on Shudder, because I keep on forgetting that I actually have a subscription to Shudder, right? On Shudder, I ran across the 1984 movie Autopsy. I have no idea what this movie is about, but I know it's Italian, it's dubbed, and it's got a lot of rape. So that is Autopsy for you. Fucking Italian cinema, they love their fucking sexual molestation. Like, I have never seen like an Italian movie from the 70s or 80s where the toxic masculinity isn't on full fucking display. It is peak trash genre horror. You know, blood that doesn't look like blood. You can fucking see the strings from whatever special effects they're trying to pull off. But it's because it feels so wrong, it feels so right. Yeah. So that's Autopsy. You can catch it on Shudder, along with every other horrible horror movie that they dump out there. Moving on from that, you know, I guess there's a theme: horror movies and horrible people. I finally watched SNOWTOWN, the SNOWTOWN Murders.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, that movie's disgusting.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Last Podcast on the Left. And they had a whole entire series on the SNOWTOWN Murders where they do a deep dive into it, right? And you've been talking about this fucking movie for years. It's like, all right, let me see finally how they captured what I heard and what you've been talking about. And honestly, compared to what I thought it was going to be, it's not nearly as gross out as I thought it would be when it comes to the murders, but it is disturbing in its own fucking right. Right? Most pointedly, the rape scene, right? Where the camera does not fucking move. So now I see what you were talking about. That movie is fucking gross.
It's all those Australians.
It's fucking
I told
Australians,
you,
man.
between The Nightingale, The Proposition, this, Chopper, and a couple other ones I'm forgetting. Romper Stomper. I'm good. I'm good on y'all. Y'all gotta. It's
Right?
disgusting
Like,
with their murder spiders and murder insects.
fucking, you mentioned those. I'll always put up Wolf Creek and Loved Ones. If you've never seen the Loved Ones, Jesus fucking Christ. There should be a channel just devoted to Australian cinema. So
There's
yeah,
a
that's
reason why there's only been two people who popped as far as filmmaking goes from Australia. Peter Weir and Baz Luhrmann.
what about Miller?
Oh, okay. Yeah, George Miller. Yeah.
George Miller. Yeah. All right, so three.
All right, so yeah, 3.
Yeah, so that's the Snowtown Murders, aka Snowtown. And it's a true fucking story. So for everyone out there, it is absolutely 100% true. People are horrible. White trash be white trashing. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Moving on from that, I finally saw The Act about Gypsy Rose. If you don't know about Gypsy Rose, it is the story of a girl, quote unquote, I guess. I mean, she's a woman whose mother suffered from Munchausen's by proxy, and she purposely pretended that her daughter was sick, had her get a fucking catheter in her stomach and all like that, and was perpetually pretending that her 21-year-old daughter was actually, much, much younger than that. Even goes so far as to put this little bitch in a wheelchair for everyone to see. And eventually, Gypsy Rose discovers the internet. She gets herself a psycho internet boyfriend, and they, I'm not ruining anything. They kill the mother. Right? It's a very, very good show. It's well acted, well shot. It's just very fucking disturbing, right? Because once again, based on a true story. People are horrible. So check out The Act on Hulu. It's one of their, original programs, so it's not going anywhere. So it's always going to be on fucking Hulu. All right, moving on from that. I had forgotten that the show Velma had existed, right? And I didn't even realize there was a second season of it.
Wait. Time out.
Yeah.
Time out.
Yeah.
You watched the second season?
No. Wait. I watched the first episode of the second season.
Oh, okay. But even still, why would you dedicate more time to that?
Because I was like, maybe it got better. Spoiler alert. It actually got worse than last season. Like, so when I say I only watched one episode, that is true. I had all of the episodes playing because HBO has no faith in this, because last season they put on it was a 2 episodes a week, right? So you at least got to enjoy it for a month, right? You had the build up. They dropped all of second season all at the same time, so that shows you right there how much faith they had in it. And I watched the first episode, and it was monstrous. It was horrible. It was fucking dog shit. But I didn't turn it off. I just did other things, right? So I heard it in the background while I was doing things that were much more interesting. And the writing didn't get better. I think my dislike of Mindy Kaling finally seeped in because I've never been a fan of Mindy Kaling, right? And so when I started watching season 1 of Velma, I was like, let me take this as its own thing and not let my hatred of Mindy Kaling influence it, right? For the second season, I couldn't hold back anymore. It's like, because this show is Mindy Kaling. It's 100%, right? It's her voice, it's her writing, it's her personality, and it's just fucking an open wound on a cheese grater covered in salt and piss, right? That's Mindy Kaling to me. Second season of Velma, don't watch it. Like, I can't even like say, oh, watch it if you like blah blah blah. Like, no, don't. I don't want a third season. There shouldn't have been a second season. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Moving on from that. So this week, and by the time you hear this, it'll still be on. This week is Netflix is a Joke. So the comedy festival that Netflix puts on in LA for, a week. And for this, John Mulaney is doing something called a talk show, a late night talk show called Everybody Lives in LA, right? It's a talk show where it's totally live on Netflix. It's every night on the East Coast at 10 p.m., 7 p.m. If you're West Coasty. And it's him doing a live talk show the way only John Mulaney can. It is unhinged. It is weird. It is fucking wonderful. It is so good that I wish John Mulaney would just get a late night talk show and like get this shit over with, right? Because if you watch his last special, what was it, Baby J? I forget what his last special was.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. He admitted that he had a severe cocaine problem all through COVID, right?
Oh yeah, he said that before.
No, but like he's like that's his stick now, right? Everyone knows that it's out in the open, and they totally lean into the fact that he's an ex-cokehead, ex-alcoholic, right? And it's the best parts of John Mulaney on SNL without the network filter. And he has fucking guests on talking about just random shit, right? So Everybody Lives in LA. It's on for the next, I think we have 4 more episodes, 4 more live sessions. If you have Netflix, watch this fucking show. If you don't have Netflix, find someone you can get their password. All right? Because every once in a while, Netflix will prove that it is kind of worth at least the basic bitch Netflix subscription plan. Moving on from that, my last and final is something else I found on Hulu. It's a documentary called The Contestant. It's about this Japanese reality show where they lock a dude in a small room, a small apartment, and he has to live off of prizes he wins in magazines by filling out magazine sweepstakes. And it's about how evil this show actually becomes, right? The thinking behind it and the producers behind it, but also how celebrated the dude who's locked in this fucking room for a year has become, right? And how the separation from humanity drives a man crazy. It is really complex and really fucking sad, but also really hopeful. And there's so many fucking emotions going through there. And I've said this once, and I will say it again. You cannot drop 2 atomic bombs on a group of people and expect them to be okay going forward, right? And The Contestant and the show that is based on, like the actual reality show that they made, is fucking 100% irrefutable proof of this fact. There's something wrong with Japan, for better or worse. That's how we get PlayStation 5s. You got to drop 2 atomic bombs on the people. They're unhinged. They're unhinged. So, Brandon, what have you been watching?
I just want to start off with some music real quick. I want to give a shout out to Krungbin. Y'all put out a really nice chill album, but next one, let's get some more funk back in there, like in your earlier one, something we could all dance to.
Yeah, I heard the new album, and it felt more, I don't want to say poppy, but more world music-y
I
than the
wouldn't say
last one.
poppy, I'd say sleepy. And
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Like, it's nice to have a mood music chill album, but I like upbeat Krungbin, not
Yeah,
I want to take a nap Krungbin.
yeah. I hear you. I feel you.
Also, shout out to Beyonce and her country album, Cowboy Carter.
Are you finally finished it?
It's just too long. It's too long.
I can't talk about Beyonce because people will kill me. I wanted it to be more country, honestly.
It's fine. It's just these past 2 albums, she's following up Lemonade, and Lemonade's one of the best albums I ever heard. I was
Right.
just like, oh, this is an album.
Right.
And and I don't know. Look, I don't care if I get roasted for it. Like, so far, the Renaissance, the first 2 parts in the Renaissance trilogy, they're good. Nothing I'll ever come back to. So
No, I feel you.
So with that said, however, I want to get this off my chest because I've been feeling this way for what, close to 12 years now. From day one, I've been a Drake hater, and I mean a hater. I'll admit it, homie has some tracks that are good, but I've been a hater. I always thought he was a cornball.
Right.
He's always been a cornball, and now I want to thank Kendrick Lamar, one of my favorite rappers, for publicly humiliating him again. He got humiliated, and you would have thought he would have learned the first time with Pusha T, where that beef ended with him going on LeBron James's show crying, he has to pay. He talked about my friend, he has to pay. Or the fact that in one of his disses he took shots at The Weeknd, who's doper than him, and now I understand why The Weeknd's like, yo, listen, I'll do tracks with you because it'll help me out, but I'm not signing to your little fucking label. Now I understand why he was just like, nah. Also, how you going to tell ASAP Rocky to go have more kids when he's having kids with Rihanna, the woman you've publicly for half a year begged you to love you?
All right, so if we're gonna talk about fucking Drake, all right, look, he makes hits, he makes fucking party music and shit like that, but no one has ever considered him like a rapper, right? Like, he's the only nigga who considers himself a rapper.
No, there's
right?
people who take themselves seriously. Look, you should have just been what you've been since day one, which is a pop star. Like, the fact that you were out here saying how hard you are and how you have shooters on deck, we all knew that was fake. There's nothing more than black people hate than somebody who's not authentic and authenticity, especially in rap music. Like, come on, when Kid Cudi's out here just being himself, when you got Tyler the Creator being weird and he's putting out dope ass music, when you got Andre 3000, who's from the hood, put out a flute album. Like, nobody's trying to hear this. Nobody's trying to hear this. You have everybody now two-step into your name in the song that goes, you a pedophile, you a pedophile, you a pedophile. We were all dancing to that. I see all over Instagram and Twitter people doing the two-step in the club to that. And then you come back, your diss record is just a recap of what went down. Like, Kendrick got you with the A minor line, and you're gonna come back with you a B sharp. And I'm like, dog, B sharp's not even a note. That's why the A minor was ill, because that's a note. B sharp, that is from The Simpsons, where Homer joined a barbershop quartet. They were called the B Sharps because they were all stupid.
My favorite line off that new diss track is the A minor line, right?
Yeah, that's why I just
'Cause,
said the A minor.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. But yeah, like, why? Why? Well, like Drake, why, man? Like, you're from Canada. Be from Canada. Be happy, being rich, being champagne poppy, being, it was the world, like, America's boyfriend, but not no more. It's like America's fuckboy now. And just getting clowned, roasted over and over and over again.
My man said, I'm too rich to be a pedophile. I was just like, that's usually how it goes, right?
Yeah, no, like that's that we're going to some sticky territory. But usually,
yeah, because we could start naming names of people who've been exposed. Like, we could sit here all day. Epstein, a legend who I don't want to say right now.
Right, but like, the richer you are, the easier it is to be a pedophile. So,
Bryan Singer.
I forgot Bryan Singer even existed.
Come on, man. Like, we all heard that. We were just like, bro, you're done now. You cooked. Like,
right.
Go.
Like, it's that stink never gets off of you, right? If someone calls you a pedophile.
And then to say I'm too rich to be a pedophile. Bro, when you have pictures of yourself hanging out with Millie Bobby Brown, you were texting Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, this makes me happy. Listen, y'all. DMX tried to tell y'all, and you didn't listen to the God. When DMX was on the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne the God asked him, DMX, what do you think of Drake? He's like, I don't like Drake. I don't like his music. I don't like his voice. I don't like his style. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way he dances. I don't like the way he dressed. I was like, yeah, DMX knew what was up. I was the only one in the corner.
Just rubbing your hands together.
I'm like Strauss, baby. I wait. I'm patient. So, moving on from that, I want to talk about some TV. The first thing I'm going to talk about is I binged all 8 episodes of Fallout because
right?
Amazon, they messed up, and now I'm getting it for real good.
Oh yeah, all right. I love a scam or a mistake on the part of the man.
Fallout's good. Fallout's good.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the show, right? I like it. It's so good that it makes me want to play these boring ass fucking games to get to
I've
learn
never
the
played.
lore.
Yeah, I don't care about that because I've never played the games, and I'm probably not. As much as I enjoy the show, I'm like, I'm good.
Because I wanted to be a completist with the lore and everything like that. I wanted to see because I was so interested, and I started playing Fallout 3, and it's fine. It's fine.
The only thing that bothers me is lead character. She got some big eyes.
She got anime eyes.
Kind of freaked me out. That's why when homie, she's like, yo, you want to have sex? And homie just is like, I was like, yeah, bro, I don't blame you because those eyes look like Bratz. Those are like Bratz doll's eyes.
Now he said he did that because he didn't know nothing about nothing.
Yo, listen. Those are. I'm trying to save homie. He fell in love too. I'm disappointed. But yeah, Fallout. It's hard. It's much more gruesome than I thought it'd be too. But it's hard.
Yeah, and I love how it gets more and more progressively gruesome throughout the run of the show.
So I mean, it came out over a month ago, and it's still number 1 on Amazon. So I was like, oh, I see why y'all renewed it so quickly.
Right.
So, renewed it faster than that Lord of the Rings show that y'all spent $1 billion on. That's still wild to me.
Are they even is anyone even talking about that show?
I do because it sucks.
But I don't know anyone who people disliked it for varying reasons. You disliked it because it was bad. most people, most fans disliked it because racism.
It sucked. That show sucks. I want to talk about SNL. Very weak episode.
Yeah, like
Listen,
even the Weekend Update was weak.
yeah. The only good thing was when Jerry came on, because Jerry's been saying some stuff where I'm just like, dog, you sound so old and so washed right now. And on top of that, nobody likes your movie. Like, yeah, dog, like you just sound washed. And how is he gonna say comedy's being destroyed by woke people when I was just like, dogs, Curb Your Enthusiasm was just on.
Right.
There's Always Sunny in Philadelphia still on.
Yeah, no, I know. It's because he comes from the 80s, and like if you watch comedies from the 80s and 90s, I mean, yeah, that shit was raw, right? But like you watch it now, it's problematic and honestly kind of disturbing, right? So if you come from that world, yeah, of
Come on,
course.
man. You have Larry. You guys have Larry David pulling all types of disgusting things as a human being. We still all find it hilarious. Same with It's Always Sunny. They're always getting into stuff where you're like, "Ooh, this is gross," but it's still funny. Like, as long as the joke hits, like we can forgive things. Come on, I still
Right.
laugh at Palestinian chicken. Calm your ass down. That's why they had him on. Guy who said too much in the past week. Well, yeah, whatever. And that's all I got. I haven't really watched much. Like, I can't even remember any movies I watched. Oh yeah, I'll talk about this movie. I finally saw 1997 from Takashi Kon, or hold on, Satoshi Kon, man-made Paprika. I mess with it, so I watched his first movie, which everybody claims is the best movie, one of the best anime movies, and I get why. It's called Perfect Blue, 1997. Very hard movie to watch for multiple reasons. I mean, not in a confusing way, in a way that's just psychologically disturbing. Like, this could have easily been a live-action movie, to be quite honest with you.
Aronofsky took some
Images.
images from it. Yeah.
And put it in what's the name of it? Requiem.
Right.
The story is basically Black Swan, except more extreme. Also, this is much shorter than Black Swan. This is only 82 minutes. And I think that's the reason why people say it's a masterpiece, because it's 82 minutes, so that way it's not like Lynch where it'll permeate in your psyche and get under you. It's I recommend it though. It's a beautiful film.
Would you watch it?
What?
Would you watch it?
AMC Plus.
Oh, okay. Oh wow.
Because I got a free trial of that, and I was like, all right, perfect way to use this free trial. But I guess before this free trial is done, I'll finally watch the Rick and Michonne show. That's the only shit I care about. It's finally getting an ending for those two characters.
And the Rick and Michonne, so it was a limited run, right? Because I thought it was going to be all right. I still have to finish that. I still have to finish that last fucking season, so I know, so I can be a completist with that shit.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just watching this just to get some closure on those two characters. But yeah, Perfect Blue. Watch at your own risk is what I'm gonna say. Watch at your own risk.
All right, yeah, because I know everyone was always giving burn to Perfect Blue, right?
Yeah.
And I had never been able to find a copy, and one of the services I don't have, it happens to be on there. So
I love Paprika. Like this. I'm not saying this is bad. It's good. Just now I gotta see Millennium Mattress, because I'm like, man, my man's makes some very surreal nightmares. Not as surreal as Lynch, but still surreal. Let us get into the main review.
Oh, do we want to talk about that? Did you see that Superman picture?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what to say, except David looks good.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Superman. Good. Like, so, shut up, internet. That's fine.
I got nothing to say. You know what I mean? It's a picture. It's a production still.
I feel you.
Oh, also, I do want to shout out Surprise, Surprise, and Royal Key for those of you who live in LA or in the Bay Area, Royal Key and surprise, surprise, have the best weed products. So shout out to the hashies, shout out to the live rosin.
Okay. All right.
Jeff knows about the hashies.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I have no
Yes, you
idea.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, man. Oh, yeah.
So shout out to them. All right. So let's move into the main review.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna start with Richard Linklater's Hitman. Saw this like 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh,
I just
shit.
forgot to keep talking about it.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm glad it didn't get lost in the shuffle of last week's episode. But yeah, Hitman. It comes on in a couple of weeks on in theaters. So it's gonna be in theaters like a little later this month, and then next month, June, it'll drop on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's sad that Netflix got a hold of this because this plays well in the theater and with an audience. Like, this is a very good romantic comedy. And what I love is as soon as the romance starts, it gets messy real quick. This is taken from a true story. It's not all true. It's true up until a point. Like, the real guy that Glenn
Right.
Powell is playing, it stops being real at a certain point.
Right, but inspired by true events.
Right,
blah,
right,
blah,
right,
blah,
right,
blah, right. So what's the story?
So there's a adjunct community college professor. He's a Herb, played by Glenn Powell. He starts consulting with the FBI on undercover stings. Well, you know how cops are. They get one of them gets suspended because he's
dirty
a
cops
cop.
be dirty copping.
Yeah, cops be doing cop shit. This dude, Glenn Powell's character, gets replaced, and they're like, "All right, so you gotta go salvage this and go undercover as a hitman." So he does, and he pulls it off by the skin of his teeth, and it's all like super awkward the first time, but then everybody's surprised he pulled it off. They're like, "Oh, good job! We're surprised you didn't get shot." And he's just like, "Wait, what?" They're like, "No, good job,
No,
good
you're
job."
good. You're cool. You're cool.
Eventually, he starts getting so good at this that he becomes a full-time undercover hitman. So people will hit him up like, "Yo, I want to kill my wife," and he'll go in a disguise and sit down and put on a character. Like, he'll be a Russian or a tatted up prison gang member.
So he's cosplaying various hitmen for the FBI.
Yep, to take them down and put them in jail.
This sounds wild as shit.
It gets to a point where he meets Adriana Arjona's character, and she's like, "Yeah, I want you to kill my husband because he beats me, and I can't leave him, and I'm tired of him." And he's just like, "Yo, listen, you seem like a really good person who's about to make a very bad mistake. So why don't you just take this money that you're gonna pay me and just run away?" And so he does that, and that's when he gets reprimanded. Like, "Bro, our whole mission here is to arrest these people, and you're giving now life advice? Like, shit, man." Like, Retta's in this, and Retta has a funny line where she goes, "Shit, man, the way you handled that, you should be my therapist." So that's what the movie's about. Is like him still working for no, I'm sorry, it's not the FBI, it's the local police. Him working undercover with the local police while being an adjunct professor while dating this woman that he talked out of killing
Murdering
her husband. And it gets messy real quick. Real quick. It gets real messy.
Sounds wild as shit.
It is one of the best romantic comedies of the year. And we had some good ones. We had some real good ones.
Okay. And it's going on Netflix?
Yeah.
That's sad. That's a shame.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad because Richard Linklater's just been on Netflix heaven, man. And I feel bad because he put this one out in film festivals. People made offers, and Netflix is like, "Nah, we're taking this one too." But Glenn Powell, I got to give it up. He's a producer and co-screenwriter. Him and as he called him, Dick. Him and Dick co-wrote the script together, and he's a producer. And like after watching this, I'm like, this dude can do anything. He has range. He could literally do anything. He could play a nerd. He could play a scary dude. He could play a charming man.
And so here's what I'm gathering from watching Glenn Powell. He is Bradley Cooper 2.0.
Yeah, I just hope. I still like Bradley Cooper.
Right.
I just want Bradley Cooper. You gotta humble yourself because now you're getting a little high on your own supply as a director, trying to chase that best director stash. And I'm just like, look, we already got too many guys like that. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need another Tom Hooper.
Right.
I hate Tom Hooper.
Oh, all right. Those strong words, man.
Garbage ass movies. But Glenn Powell, man, he even during the Q&A, he was charming. He was just like, I'm sorry if my brain's a little mush. I'm tired. I just came back from chasing tornadoes. Oh, by the way, go see Twisters this July. I was like, damn, he's still doing reshoots on that shit.
Look, they gotta make they can't fail with that movie, right? They can't afford to fail.
I am rooting for that to be good.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Like, I'm not here saying I want it to be bad. Look, it's a legacy sequel starring 3 talented people, right? Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones, and what's my man's name? Anthony Ramos.
Right.
From the director of Minari. Minari is an amazing movie.
And here's the thing, like the OG Twister, right? I was watching that a couple of months ago, and even though the special effects or whatever, the movie still hits, right? It was one of those movies where you could watch it 3 or 4 times in a theater, right? And not get sick of it. It was just like the peak, it was peak 90s, right?
Yeah, where parents took their kids to see Twister, dog.
Right.
Like, I remember coming in that weekend after it opened, and everybody was just kept going, cow. I was just like, bro, your mom took you to see Twister? He's like, yeah, and I loved it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, so like the fact that a movie about twisters, tornadoes, was not only successful but good and entertaining, that was a fucking shot in the blue.
Dog,
So
they had a whole ass ride at Universal.
right, like
That ride, I remember you get lifted off the ground because the winds are so strong.
So like the OG Twister is honestly beloved. So you can't afford to fuck it up. I'm not rooting against Twisters at all, right? I want summer spectacle. I want fun fucking summer movies.
I'm not rooting against Glenn Powell. Like, I'm excited to see that documentary he made with JJ because I keep seeing the preview for that, and I'm like, oh, this is going to make me yak in IMAX, but I cannot wait to see it.
What documentary? What are you talking about?
The Blue Angels, about the Blue Angel pilots.
Oh,
they got them doing barrel rolls in IMAX. Like, it's shot with IMAX cameras, so they got them doing barrel rolls and going up into the Earth atmosphere, doing 360s. I was like, oh, can't wait to see this, and I can't wait to yak.
Yeah, I mean, it's they saw what Top Gun Maverick did. It was like, we got to get on that money.
Now see it in real life.
Right, we got to get that real shit. Yeah.
So they showed a preview for it, and some dude goes, "Huh, that looks like a Navy propaganda movie."
Oh, okay. Oh, it's fine. Okay. Like, can people just enjoy shit? Right?
Yo, everything's got to be politicized, right? Everything.
Right, just enjoy some shit. Like, everybody remembers fucking when you were a kid and you heard the Blue Angels were coming, they were going to fly over and they were going to do some shit. You would just stand in the field in the hot ass summer, getting half blinded by the sun, just to watch these motherfuckers do some shit. Like, stop shitting on people's fun.
Listen, I ain't going. This is going to be very scumbaggish of me to say, but it looks very entertaining to watch people almost crash into each other doing wild ass stunts.
Dude, that's how NASCAR became a thing, right? Like, no one. I have a couple of NASCAR friends, right? NASCAR fans, and I asked them, like, why do you like this? It's like, we're hoping to see some shit crash. Like, we watch for the crashes, right? Same thing with Blue Angels. with any kind of fucking stunt spectacular, you're amazed at the fact that they're doing things. They're defying death, right? But you're kind of waiting for them not to defy death.
Yeah, because you don't want to see people die, but at the same time, like, a
You
close
don't-
call is wild entertaining.
Right. Like, you don't want to watch people die, but if it happens, well.
Nah. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is Glenn Powell also has chemistry with almost every person he works with. Like, he has chemistry with Retta. I forget what the Indian dude's name is. Him and him, when their scenes together are funny. His leading lady in this, Adriana or Jorna, she's been in stuff like I think a lot of you might remember her from being the main romantic love interest in Pacific Rim Uprising, and she's been in a lot of stuff since.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, them two have great chemistry, and I'm just like, yo, this guy just, he has chemistry with everybody. Everybody was going, as him and his publicist were walking out, everybody was going up to him saying hi and great movie, and he's like, thank you. He was texting on his phone, and I was behind him walking up the stairwell. Once we got up and out of the hotel, I was like, hey man, I just want to say that was a really good movie. And then he stopped texting, he looked right at me, and I was the only person he did this with. He put out his hand, he's like, thank you, and we shook hands. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, I'm Brandon. He's like, Brandon, thank you. I was like, damn, you're a nice ass guy.
Well, I'm telling you, Bradley Cooper 2.0, baby.
I was like, every other person, he was just like, yeah, thank you. For me, just like, huh. I was like, oh, it made me feel special, man. Thank you. Got some,
right.
I tell you what, he moisturizes his hands. It's like, my man's got some very soft hands. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Look, there's nothing wrong with, like, man or woman, there's nothing wrong with a soft hand.
And I just said, I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to have soft hands. But yeah, shout out to Glenn Powell, man. Like, yo, listen, I'm gonna go see your documentary. I'm probably gonna see this again once I get a screener for it, or once my Netflix activates in December for the 3 days I'll get it.
Right.
Or might if I got time, I might see it at the Draft House, because the Draft House does play Netflix movies depending on what it is.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna show a Richard Linklater movie. Like, of course they are. But Hitman. If you can see it in a theater, see it in a theater. If not, it'll be out June 6th on Netflix. It is a summer movie. Just sucks it's coming out through these people.
Right.
So let's move on from that. This past weekend was May the 4th. May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th and Revenge of the 6th. Because now that has been spread over 2 days for some reason. I guess puns work for both days.
All right, that's cool, I guess.
This re-release, by the way, came in number 2 at the box office.
What was number 1?
Fall Guy. Fall Guy
Okay.
underperformed though.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, because I can't wait to hear in 10 years, why wasn't this a hit? Motherfuckers didn't go see it. You know how it is. People discover a movie on streaming. Like right now, people are watching The Fall Guys and they're like, why wasn't this a hit?
Right.
It's like, well, you motherfuckers ain't go see it.
Right.
Just like The Fall Guy, I guarantee you 5 years from now, people will be like, why wasn't this a hit? And it's like, yeah, I don't go see it.
Right. You want to wait for Netflix.
So Fall Guy made like 28 million, which is not good considering it cost 130. And then this was number 2 with 10 million, which is wild.
Right.
That it made that much. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. First off, I want to say all the kids in the auditorium really loved this movie. And I was like, oh yeah, I was a kid when I first saw this. And I remember having that feeling too. Like, this is a kid's movie. Like, I'll say that. Like, I'll give George that. Like, he made a good movie for kids.
Right.
For kids. With that said,
okay,
bro, some of the lines in this script are terrible. Like
Look,
like some of this, I was just like, this needs a second pass, my guy.
and
Are you
look,
an angel?
here's the thing. George Lucas has never been a good writer. He's a
Oh no,
good
because the first Star
storyteller.
Wars is pretty bad too.
Right. He's a good storyteller. He's
Yes.
not a good writer.
Yes.
Right?
I respect his vision, but somebody else should have executed on this, because it is like you're getting whiplash sometimes in the same shot where there'll be practical sets with practical puppets and robots, but then the very next scene, or sometimes within the same scene, everything else is CG, and you're just like, bro, why not just do this all practical? Like, it bugs me out seeing the CGI Yoda, because I remember seeing this as a kid, and that first cut, before he tinkered with it, Yoda was a puppet.
Right.
So
I
seeing
mean,
CG Yoda and CG Yoda just looks so unfinished.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, uh, and even Puppet Yoda looked kind of fucked up, right? But like, at least it was real. He tinkers too much. He's
Yes,
always
because I saw it opening day, and Darth Maul got stabbed and he fell down the shaft. And then the very next week, some of my friends went to go see it. They're like, "Why didn't you tell me Darth Maul got cut in half?" I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about? No, he doesn't." Come to find out, oh yeah, people who saw it in those first 3 days, they got the one where he doesn't get cut in half, and I'm just like, that's before we had DCPs, so that means they shipped out.
the
He made
prince.
Fox ship out new prints.
I
Seriously?
I didn't even realize there was a version where he didn't get cut in half.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
See, too much tinkering with the sauce. Like, even those reissues of the OG trilogy, right? Even those, like, some of the improvements, all right, I'll grant you, like, those were cool. But some other ones, it's like, you didn't need to fucking do that. That makes no sense. It
Yo,
adds nothing to it.
Han's head goes from one spot to like 18 inches to the like right, so that way he doesn't shoot first. Like, that's a whole nerd thing. Han shot
Right.
first, and you watch the new cut and you're just like, oof, that edit is
It's bad.
awful. It is
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. Just let them niggas shoot first. Right? Like,
He's not. It's supposed to illustrate that he's a anti-hero who becomes a hero. That's the whole point.
yeah. Right. I mean, like, he's a tinkerer. He's like a chef who just keeps on putting too much. Like, he'll put salt in, and he'll put one dash more in there, and it'll fuck up the whole entire recipe.
Like, I do respect his vision here, because the politics, that's exactly how shit would play out, and
Right.
has how it played out, where the whole blockade to prevent Naboo from getting resources, and then
I
they're
mean,
lying
that's,
about it, like, no man, what are you talking about? We're giving
I,
them, we're not
I mean, that's
there.
just
They're
Japan.
getting their resources. What are you talking about? By the way, we're
That's
gonna
what.
kill her. We're gonna kill her. No, she's okay. Hold on, hold up the princess's body. Make it talk. Yeah, she's fine. She's dead. Remember, she's dead. Like
I
the whole
mean, it's World War II. It's what we did to the Japanese. We choked off their oil supply. Like, it's.
I really dig too that homie the Palpatine, now that I see it, Palpatine started a whole civil war just so he could rise to power and become a dictator. I was like, that's wild.
I mean,
Also, you could
oh,
clearly tell on this viewing, I could clearly tell when it was Keira Knightley and when it was Natalie Portman. I was just
oh
like,
yeah.
because I decided to pay attention. I'm like, all right, when is it the decoy and when is it the real one? And you could tell.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Somebody else needs to execute this movie. And somebody else needed to like polish this. Like, somebody should have been like, George, let me come in. Let me
Mhm.
give this a nice polish. Make this great, because it's almost there. But like, yeah, pod racing is still dope. Like, those
Mhm.
point of view shots are amazing. Funny that his friends are on the sideline and they're supposed to be high fiving each other and they can't even high five each other.
I haven't seen the movie in 15 years, so I can't. I like.
I was like, George, you couldn't like get that one shot of two kids high fiving like that just to connect. Like they straight up miss, and they're like they don't even care. They just go and keep dancing. I'm just like,
Right.
y'all, y'all could have the hands connect. Like I
That,
know it's not hard to have two
that
kids high five each other.
like that's basic hand-eye coordination. If they can't get that right, then they may need to go to a doctor, right? Like,
Well, the one kid was dressed as Greedo. The one kid was Greedo, so I'm guessing he couldn't see. But like
uh,
I'm like the little Indian kid could have like
like
ran
helped them
over and
out,
hit the hand, bro.
right? It's like Greedo, just keep your hand up there, like the little kid will just like he'll connect. Yeah,
Also, it looked like the little Indian kid's dialogue was all ADR.
yeah. I mean, and I remember like everybody. This movie destroyed Jake Lloyd, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was such hype over the fact that they had cast the young Darth Vader, like little baby Darth Vader, and he gets on the screen. He should not be an actor. He should have never
Mm,
been an actor.
It's not good, but it's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. You sit there, you watch it. It's like, oh, this is this kid's first role,
Right.
which it wasn't because he was in that movie Jingle All the Way, which is also
Yeah.
not good.
Right.
But I look, I get why Luke. You watch the movie, you're like, yeah, I get why he casted him. It's just and this doesn't extend just to Jake Lloyd because I feel like a stronger director probably could have gotten a good performance out of that kid. It's George Lucas because the whole time watching it, even when it's just Liam Neeson and Ian McGregor, when it's just
Right.
them two, I'm just like, bro, how are they so stiff? These two, like that's
Right.
what's
Right.
frustrating watching it is like you could clearly tell these two had no direction. I'm like, these motherfuckers usually kill everything they in. They are so everybody is just in this movie is just so stiff and delivering their lines like a block of wood. I'm like,
And
jeez,
also, I mean, part of it is this was the beginning of the onslaught of everything being CGI, right? And so that also had to be part of it.
which
That
is
also
wild
had
because Lord of Rings comes out what 2 years? No, this was '99. Yeah, so 2 years later, and
right.
they're using miniatures and sets, and it's only CG when they need to do it. And and you're just like, nah, bro, nah.
Well, here's the thing. Lucas is a futurist, like Cameron, but not as good as Cameron. I'm
Yeah, because
sorry when it
don't get
comes.
me. The thing about Cameron is sometimes he's too earnest for his own good, but that's
Right.
also one of his charms. I've never not seen as corny as his dialogue gets, it's
Mhm.
never delivered poorly to
Right.
the point where I'm just like, y'all didn't want another take of this?
Right. But like, here's the thing. Everybody in a Cameron film, you believe that they believe what they're saying, right? The way they're delivering it, right? It never seems like someone is acting, even though the dialogue is bad, right? Lucas, you can tell that the dialogue is bad and they're acting, right? They're trying to do something with nothing.
Like the only time anybody delivers a line good is Ewan McGregor, where he turns to Qui-Gon and has a shit-eating grin on his face. He's like, "You're right, Master. These negotiations were short."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that shit made me laugh.
That was probably a joke that someone took. That was probably a joke take that ended up in the final cut.
Like, damn, I was just like, yo, everybody in this. Also, the Trade Federation, I like them. I like the idea of them, but yeah, it's racist.
Oh yeah,
And
like everything's fucking racist
stop
in Star Wars. I'm sorry.
the dialogue never matches the mouth movements. Like you could tell those are puppets, and
Right.
they can't make the dialogue of the mouth move.
Because they had to find, like, it's not like they could find the actors to be on set. Like, all right, we want you to do the worst Japanese fucking impression that you can do. Make it real racist.
Yo, the
Right?
space Asians, yo, where they're doing tariffs and they're greedy. You got Watto the space Jew.
Like no, so but here's the thing: I can't tell if Watto's a space Jew or
Or
a space
space
Italian.
Italian. And maybe he's
'Cause-
both. Maybe he's both. I own slaves and I want my gold.
right? Fucking the
Oh,
Gungan.
yeah,
is
there's
fucking
space Jamaicans.
Space Jamaicans.
They're space Jamaicans.
Like fucking the Jawas are space Mexicans. Like,
Oh man. Like I get what he was trying to do with the Gungans. Like watching it, I'm just like, I get what you're trying to do. These are supposed to be Ewoks, right? Because there's stuff in every Star Wars movie that's for kids, and I was like, these are supposed to be for kids, but I'm just
he's trying to sell
bro.
toys. Yeah,
I was
sell
like,
toys.
my guy. Like
Not
the
only that,
Gungans are a cool idea. They're just executed in the worst way possible.
I was just like, I feel bad every time I see a gun. I was like, come on, man. Like the ancestors are
Also,
upset with you right now.
Also, why did we have to kill off Darth? Like, no offense to Christopher Lee, and I like Count Dooku's lightsaber. It looks like a umbrella handle. But like, why did we have to kill off Darth Maul for this old ass guy? Like, I love Christopher Lee, R.I.P. But damn, bro, come on. I was like, yo, Christopher Lee is one of our best actors, and he should not be doing that bullshit that he was doing.
Look,
Like, Darth Maul was cool, man.
Darth Maul was cool. Who's the General Grievous was cool. Like,
Who was that dude?
What?
Who was that dude?
Who was dude? General Grievous?
Yeah. Like, seriously, tell me who he is.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got six arms.
Exactly.
Right? That's all I need. Was six arms.
Exactly. He comes up in the third movie, and I'm like, you spend half the movie with an asthmatic robot who's good with lightsabers, and every time I ask somebody who's like, yo, General Grievous rules, I'm like, okay, who is he? Please tell me who he is, because every time I watch that movie, I'm like, who is this guy, and why is he here, and why is he important?
Didn't you have to play
nobody can tell me why.
Didn't you have to play the video games to find out? Like, you had to watch some extra shit to find out who he was, right?
We
like,
shouldn't be doing that for a fucking movie.
Oh, yeah, I know. I totally agree with you, right? All I'm saying is he creates these great characters that builds a hype around them, and the execution is faulty. It is false and hollow. And like...
Yeah, because I remember episode 3 had like a 20-minute sequence of Obi-Wan riding a giant lizard being chased by this asthmatic robot.
Right.
Because this homie was coughing every 2 minutes. I was like, can we get this dude an inhaler, man?
Because some shit that happened in the cartoon, which I never watched. You know, like, it's just, you shouldn't have to. Like, I agree with you.
Like, Count Dooku, you understand. Like, he's a bad dude. He's a Sith dude. Like, eventually it's revealed he's a Sith. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Because he's dressed in all black doing devious things. Right. This dude shows up and I'm just like, well, if Count Dooku's here, who are you and why are you here, bro?
Yeah. So, I mean, but like, if you go by Sith lore, lore, you know, Star Wars lore, isn't there always supposed to be a master and apprentice, right?
Yes.
So why did we have to kill off Darth Maul? Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we killed off Darth Maul for Count Dooku, and in my mind, I think they even said this. Like, the Sith master always wants the strongest apprentice, which is why Palpatine wanted Anakin to kill Dooku, because he's just like, yo, you're more powerful. It's time. I'm like, yo, wouldn't Darth Maul was more powerful than Count Dooku?
Right. He took on 2 Jedis at the same fucking time, right?
Yo, and he killed Qui-Gon. Also, Qui-Gon's an asshole, man. Like, it's all his fault. Like, you know who Qui-Gon reminds me of? Stilgar. Because he brings this little kid. He's like, this kid has the most midichlorians I've ever seen. He's definitely the one. And Samuel Jackson and Yoda sitting there like, you talking about the prophecy? You think this little boy that you found on a desert planet is the one? They're like, all right, bring him here. Bring his little ass here. And they do the test, and they're just like, all right, take your little ass on. And then they bring Qui-Gon in, and they're like, yo, Qui-Gon, we want to let you know something. we are terrified right now because we tried seeing this kid's future. Not only did he pass the test with flying colors, which has never been done before, but we tried looking into his future, and his future's murky and dark. That is not good. And Qui-Gon's like, I don't care. He's the chosen one. I'm going to train him with or without your permission. And even Qui-Gon's like, yo, bro, like, they're telling you, like, this little kid might kill us. Like,
and here's the thing. Here's the lesson that we learned from this and from Dune. Sometimes you just got to leave a motherfucker in the desert. Sometimes
you gotta leave a white boy alone.
Sometimes you just gotta leave a white boy in the desert. Just let him do his thing.
Yo, because I was like, damn, bro, Qui-Gon an asshole. Also, he kept gambling with their lives while they're on Tatooine. He's like, yeah, look, if this little boy wins this race, not only do I get to keep the little boy, but you fix my ship and we take all the credits. And Amidala, remember, because it hasn't been revealed yet that she's the queen. She's like, bro, the queen would not approve of you gambling with our lives like this every 5 minutes. And he's just like, well, what the queen doesn't know won't hurt her. And I'm pretty sure the queen would approve of my actions. And she goes, well, I don't approve. And it's like, yeah, because Amidala ends up being the queen. I'm just like, bro, this is wild that that the whole mission hinged on a little boy.
Which honestly seems kind of pedophilic, but I'm gonna leave that.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, my man Qui-Gon a little too obsessed with this boy.
But that is like, we're not even gonna touch that. We're not gonna,
oh no, because we could get deeper into that during the episode 2 release.
When's that release next?
Anakin is the product of white privilege. Because everything's handed to him on a silver platter, and when it doesn't go his way, he destroys everything.
Throws a fit, bitch fit.
So yeah, Star Wars Episode 1. I respect Lucas's vision so much. I just wish somebody else executed this, honestly.
Like I said, he's a great storyteller, not a good director, not a good writer, but a great storyteller. Right? He comes up with great ideas, fantastic ideas.
So let's get into Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Look, West Ball. I've been banging the drum on West Ball for a minute. Like, West Ball came out the gate strong, directorially wise, with The Maze Runner, and then he continued that, and you could tell with each passing movie in that series, as a director, he got more and more creative freedom. That translates here just because there's sequences in this movie where I'm just like, my man's is going off, and it's amazing what he's pulling off. Like, I think this movie is a nice jumping off point from the Caesar trilogy, because that's what we'll call the previous one, the Caesar trilogy. This is all the same saga, but just a start of a different story, right?
Dealing with different heroes' journey, yeah.
Right, because Caesar does loom large over this, and that's my problem here. Is it really is the script? Like, this script, this movie brings up themes that just I think are interesting, and I'm like, oh, this is a really major conundrum. Like, that's interesting. That brings up some moralistic choices where you're just like, okay, so where are we gonna go with this? And it's not interested in pursuing those things further at all.
Okay, so it'll introduce it, but there's no follow through. It's just sort of like, we don't examine it. It's just like, all right, it would be cool. This idea is cool.
Because there's some complicated questions and themes that the characters come up with, especially like philosophically, of apes and humans coexisting. And I thought they were going to dig a little further into it, and they don't. And I'm just like, okay, I guess you're just bringing this all up for the sequel.
Right.
I should say it like that. The sequel.
I mean, because yeah, the two other films to finish out this trilogy. Yeah.
So, but also, as much as I like the characters they introduce here are all great. Like the new apes are great. The new villains are great. Uh, there's a surprise human in this, or when this notable actor pops up, I was like, oh, word.
Okay.
There's one character in here where I'm like, yo, y'all made a mistake. Like, I'm just gonna say right now, like, there's a character who comes in like 20 minutes into the movie, and I was like, this is the best character. And then like 40 minutes later, just
They kill him?
gets killed off. I was just like, God damn it, man. Like that was the best character in the movie. Like, there's still so much to do with that specific character.
All right. What's the runtime on this?
That's my other problem. That's what I'm gonna get to right now.
Hmm.
It's too long. This is the longest Apes movie ever. It's 2.5 hours.
Oof. Oof. All right.
It's
And like the other Apes movies, right? They felt long because they were packing a lot of things into them, right? Um, I can only imagine what an actual 2.5 hour Apes movie feels like, right? Especially when the ones where the ideas are half explored.
it's this feels like a jumping off point more than anything.
Mhm.
Like this feels more of a setup movie than Rise did, and Rise is definitely a setup movie, but that felt like, oh, if that movie did not get sequels, that'd still be a very
It
good
it has an
Apes
ending,
movie
right? It has
on
an
its own.
ending,
Right.
right? Like, yeah,
This is just, it feels like all set up for whatever's gonna come next, for the war that's coming. There's a war coming.
right. And is this the new trend we're getting into? Because I saw the same thing in fucking Rebel Moon. You don't make a movie to introduce another movie, right? Just make your fucking movie. Just do it. Like tell your story. Fucking your 3-act structure. Give me your fucking your climax and your denouement, right? Like finish it.
I do think what I appreciate about this a lot is the same thing I appreciate about the other 3 films, which is this movie takes, like the other films, it takes its time telling the story. It is not afraid to be slow in order to get you invested in these characters and the world that we are living in.
Mhm.
Also, I have to say, nobody shoots ruined cities better than Westfall. Between Maze Runner and this, I'm like, this dude is the king of ruins, and it's amazing. The CG in this, like, I thought what Matt Reeves did in the original trilogy was great. I was just like, damn, Westfall took it further.
Oh,
I was like,
really?
oof, that like.
Because those last 2 Apes movies, you forget, like within the first 10 minutes, you forget that you're watching created characters, right? Like animated characters. They are that real.
Yeah, they
Like
look like, they walk like real
right.
monkeys. They have the they they have human facial expressions, and like the way that they have them here where they look like real animals, but
Mm.
each with a distinct personality and face and all that. I'm like, why can't y'all do this with these Jungle Book movies?
You mean
Like,
Lion King?
same, yeah, Lion King.
Right, yeah.
Same studio. Same fucking studio. Don't make no sense.
I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, this is a good, the problem is the last 3 movies are very good, and this is just a good movie. It's like, to me, War is a great film.
Mhm.
Rise is a very good film. Uh Dawn is a good film, and this is just a flat good. Like, it's
Okay.
not a bad movie, and I'll probably watch it again once it hits Hulu or HBO Max. But as far as seeing it again in the theater, probably not.
Right. Well, like you said, it's set up for the second one. So the second one is going to be a banger, right? Because they're going to take, I mean, they'll see. They'll see all the issues they had with this one, you know? And
It
hopefully
is.
they'll fix it.
Like,
you know?
people who really did enjoy this, even they were like, yeah, dude, this should not have been 2.5 hours. So I'm like, yeah. Because it got to a point where I'm like, dude.
It's like, wrap it up. Like that button, like, wrap it up, B. Yeah.
Also, I feel like we should have gotten to the villain a little quicker. Proximus Caesar, as he calls himself.
Well, that's a badass name, though. That's a good name.
You talk about that dude really was a dictator.
So when do they introduce the villain? When do they introduce the fucking threat?
Oh, within the first 15 minutes. But the
Okay.
movie, it's an adventure movie. So
Mm.
what it is Noah, who is a chimpanzee, lives in this colony with his family, and they live peacefully in this valley. A rival clan of apes tracks a human because this human's been stalking this colony and stealing their food and stuff like that. These other band of apes tracks them to this colony, destroys the colony, kills a lot of them, and the survivors are taken as slaves.
Oh,
So,
word.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, homie Noah, he's off to rescue a chimpanzee he loves and his mom and the rest of his colony. And he sets off and he meets this orangutan. I forget what the orangutan's name is. And then eventually the human girl who was stalking the colony eventually joins in. And everybody has a reveal. And it's a reveal that leads to interesting dynamics and interesting ideas that, again, I wish were dug deeper into. Like, there's stuff with the human characters where I was just like, oh, word, I did not see that coming. I feel like the last one of these is literally going to be called Planet of the Apes, because I feel like we're now moving to the original apes. Like, that's what this is all leading up to.
Right. The circle will be complete.
Like they're just going to go ahead and just end this with a full-on remake of Planet of the Apes.
Oh. Okay. All right.
So, like, there's no bad performances. Shout out to Owen Teague, because he plays Noah. And Owen Teague, I mean, gives Andy Serkis a run for his money.
Is Andy Serkis in this at all?
No.
No? Okay.
This is Caesar's story is done. His legacy continues.
Well, no, not even like, I'm just talking about even as like a mocap performer or something like that. No, yeah.
Caesar is gone.
Okay.
This is all about Caesar's legacy and what his legacy has wrought and what people have taken from it. And it's interesting to see it. It's like how people use Christianity today, right?
Right. Yeah. Like the Bible is the greatest weapon that's ever been created. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Man, I look. See it. Yeah, sure, see it, man. Like it is a summer blockbuster, but just know, like, just have some patience with it. It's more focused on the characters than it is the action.
Okay.
But there is a really cool set piece at the end. I'll give it that. But like, this is a giant setup for what's to come next, and that's the movie's problem. Because I'll say this about each of the other Apes films: they all do stand on their own.
Fair enough. Can't wait to watch this.
So yeah, I don't know. Look, it's hard for me to say like I can fully dig it when there's people who I personally know who at the same time at the same theater, I'm going to see this and they're going to see Furiosa. We both walk out at the same time and they're just like, holy shit, bro. It feels like I just drank a cup of coffee. And I've been wired for 3 hours and I'm walking out. I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, See it in a premium screen though, because the sound is good and the picture quality, if you see it in a premium, is good too. Because they gave us Dolby today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with enough room for everybody to spread out. Nobody was sitting on top of each other.
Oh, blessings on blessings on blessings, right
Except
there.
except for the guru.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking that guy must be lonely. That's the only explanation.
I mean, yeah, you can tell. You know, in interactions, you can tell that
Because
this
he'll
is
randomly
just-
come up to me and start chatting to me, and I'm like, yo, man, can you just leave me alone?
it's like we're not cool. You and me are not the same. We've got nothing in common.
Yeah.
Besides movies. That is it.
So, that is episode 120.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, aka He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.